All right, number 38. It's a bunch of ways we can work this one out. This one for me, it's a proportion problem, and you can go proportion or you can go direct variation. It's gonna be up to you. I have 8 minutes and I got 45 items, right? So if I'm looking at this here, I'm gonna go with time and then items, IT for items. Uh, 8 minutes, it's 45 items. They want to know how many minutes for 36 items. So I know my number is smaller than 8. How much? Not that much. So I need to find out what's the change, right? I can go 45 over 8 um, to kind of figure that out and then say, okay, where are we at? I know this is, for me, I know that right off the bat, this is too small, that's too small. And this is 8. I can ask what times 8 gives me 45. And then once I figure out what that is, ask myself, well, that number times what gives me 36. Just a bunch of different ways to get there. We can go 8 over 45 equals to box over 36 and take it from there. And in this case, it's x over y, x over y. I don't know. It's up to you how to get there. I know these two numbers you can divide by 9, all right? Then I can get this divided by 9 and figure something else from there. Um, I don't know, just, or you can multiply, get an answer, right? 8 times 36, get a number divided by 45, which is going to be a lot. And the thing is, I see right off the bat that these two numbers are fairly close together, right? They're 9 apart, which means these guys can't be that far apart either, right? So let me tell you what I mean by that. Okay, so I know then I can do this, y equals kx, or k is y over x, and that means it's going to be 45 over 8, which is roughly 5.6-ish. Because if I do the math on that, I'm getting like 5.6-ish around there. And then I can take it from there. And I already, since I know this, because this is going to be a rate problem, that this number is this divided by that, which means that's not my answer. It has to be that. This has to be 6.4. Because that's the proportion that we're doing. That's the rate that's happening here. My rate is, this is my rate. So my rate is 5.6, this number. So it's like what times 5.6 goes into 30 is 36, and it happens to be 6.4. Let me see what the book says over here. Oh look, the answer is 6.4. That's the answer. But okay, so let me see if I can kind of further explain this. I think really in this one, I hate to say it, that might be the best way to do it. It's multiply 8 times 36 divided by 45 and get that 6.4 number, right? Because this might be a text box entry. Or you can find the rate and then multiply, divide 36 into, or multiply 5.6 and then times 6.4. In other words, guys, this number times this number when you multiply them is going to give you this 36. And think about it, 6 times 5 is 30, and the extra decimals, that's the 36. But I think at the end of the day, that's just me trying to avoid doing any math. I have a feeling though that that 45 over 8 equals a 36 over the box might be the easiest way to do this. And only because this is a multiple choice test. Let's see here. 30 plus 6, this is 240 over 48. That is 288 divided by 45. And then you just work it out from there. 45, and let's see here. 45 times 6, that's 30, 270, yep, so times 6 is 270, then 288 minus 270, and bear with me, it's the very last problem of the exam, point something at the 0 in there, and I think I'll put a, in this case, it says a 4, right? I guess try the 4 to see what happens. It's going to be 45 times 4 is 20. That's 16. That's 20. Oh, yeah, it is. 180. And there it is, or 1 point, whatever. That's it. So it's 16 point what? 6.4. Might be the easiest way to do it because you get the 6. It could only be B at that point. A lot of ways to attack it. I just knew that that 5.625 was that rate, that 45 over the 8, because I went y equals kx or k equals y over x. It gets rid of everything else. And then I just use my common sense to kind of like, well, 5 times 6 is 30 something, and that's a 36 that I got there. And we're good to go. And this guy said, okay, enough waiting, man. Give me an answer. The answer is B. Talk to your teacher about this one. And I have a feeling most of your teachers are going to say, just do the proportion. I went along the lines of, you know what, I can find that rate, right? That the slope, the rate of change is 5.625, and then use that to give me the answer after that to get that 36, right? So 5.625 times 6.4 is like 30 something. That's my answer. Okay. Good luck on the state test, guys. I'm thinking after you watch this video, I have you ready for a good solid 34 to 35 questions out of the 38. There's some here that are tough, but use everything you know, all the math you've learned from elementary to now, and good luck.